Today we are writing equations of lines, and the two formulas we're going to be using are right at the top, slope-intercept form and point-slope form. I will be giving these forms to you on the test. You will have these formulas available to you, but you should probably memorize them just because they're easier to use. Most of you already have slope-intercept form memorized, y equals mx plus b. Point-slope form we will talk about in a minute. Write an equation of the line that has the given slope and y-intercept. Write your answer in slope-intercept form. So they're telling us the slope is 3, the y-intercept is -6. So y equals 3x plus a -6 or -6. I just noticed that both of these instructions say write you answer instead of write your answer, and that really bothers me. Number 2, write an equation of the line that passes through the given points. There's a couple of things we need to do here. The first thing that we need to do is find the slope. So using those 2 points and what we learned last chapter, find your slope. We would do 4 minus a -1 over 3 minus a -2. That would be 5 over 5, which is 1. Step 2, we are going to use point-slope form. So point-slope form is there at the top of your notes. I'm going to rewrite it. Y minus y1 equals m times the quantity x minus x1. x1 is the x value of one of our points. y1 is the y value of one of our points, the same point you got the x value from, and m is our slope. So we know that our slope is 1. Which point do you want to use? Do you want to use the point that has the negatives, or do you want to use the point that's all positives? Definitely positives. So our x value is 3. Our y value is 4. So I'm going to put 3 in place of x1. I'll put 4 in place of y1. So I have y minus 4 equals our slope 1 times x minus 3. And I'll go ahead and color code these so you can see where they all came from. On your assignment, and some of you have your worksheet sitting out right now, you'll see that it'll ask you for the slope. It'll ask you for the equation in point-slope form. That would be this right here. But then it also asks you for the equation in slope-intercept form. So we need to take this thing and get it into slope-intercept form. We're going to do that using some algebra skills that we already know. Start by distributing the slope. So I have y minus 4 equals 1x minus 3. I need to get y by itself. How do I get rid of minus 4? Add 4. Y equals 1x, or just x, plus 1. That's my final answer. Number 3, step 1, we need to find our slope. Take a moment and find your slope. That means pause the video. Step 2, we need to take this slope of -2 and plug it and one of the points into point-slope form. Here's the awesome thing. It does not matter which point you choose. So you might choose the point 1, 6. Your neighbor might choose the point 3, 2. Once you get y by itself, your answers will be the same. So which point do you want to choose? 3, 2? All right, let's choose 3, 2. So y minus the y value of our point, 2, equals our slope, -2, times the quantity x minus the x value of our point, 3. So y minus the y value, your slope in front, x minus the x value. Step 3 then is get this looking like y equals mx plus b. Distribute your slope. That gives us y minus 2 on the left, negative 2x, negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6. And then get y by itself. Y equals negative 2x plus 8. Number 5, we're going to follow the exact same process. Our first step is going to be determine what the slope is. It says that we need to write an equation for a line that is perpendicular to the line y equals 3x plus 7. In this equation, 3 is the slope. You don't care about anything else in that equation. Don't let anything else distract you. The other stuff is there to distract you and to try to make you do something wrong. Ignore it. The only thing that you care about is 3. Now, that's the original slope. We want something perpendicular to 3. So if 3 is the original slope, what's the perpendicular slope? Negative 1/3. That's the slope that we want to use. So step 1 is still going to be figure out what your slope is. You're just going to have to do a little bit of mathematical thinking to figure out what that slope is. Once you know what your slope is, step 2 is exactly the same. Y minus the y value of our point. Notice the y value of our point is negative, so we do have minus a negative 6. The slope that we decided we're using is negative 1/3. And then we do x minus the x value of our point, which is 1. Your third step is going to be distribute, get y by itself. Now, on a test, I would probably make sure that this wasn't a fraction because, not going to lie, distributing negative 1/3 is not always ideal. On the left, y minus the negative 6 is the same as y plus 6. And we have negative 1/3 x plus 1/3. We're going to use our calculators to help us on this. If we subtract 6 on both sides, 1/3 minus 6. And I'm fine with decimals for this, for the y-intercept. So this is negative 5.6 repeated. I'm going to write negative 5.67. Okay. I want you to try that again, at least getting to step number 2 where you write it in point slope form. This time, the point is 3, 2, and it's going to be perpendicular to the line y equals negative 3x plus 2. What's the good stuff in that equation? Negative 3. The rest of it is icky dollar store waxy candy. We want to keep the negative 3. And pencils and erasers and, boring stuff. If negative 3 is our original slope, what's the perpendicular slope? Positive 1/3. Okay, so step 1's done. We know that our slope is going to be positive 1/3. I want you to do step 2 on your own. Pause the video. Y minus 2 equals 1/3 times x minus 3. This one actually is nicer when we do have to distribute. So step 3, we would distribute the 1/3. We'd have 1/3 x. 1/3 times negative 3 is negative 1. Then we'd add 2 on both sides to get our final answer, y equals 1/3 x plus 1. Okay, number 7, I want you to try almost entirely on your own. What's the biggest difference that you see? It says parallel to the line. What's the slope in this line? 5. So take everything else away. If the original slope is 5, what's the parallel slope? Same. Your slope is 5. Parallel slope is the same. So your slope is 5. Your point is 3.9. I want you to do this entire thing on your own. Pause the video and have fun. Okay, we would do y minus 9 equals 5 times the quantity x minus 3. When we distribute our slope, we would have 5x minus 15. Add 9 to both sides. Y equals 5x minus 6. Did I do my mental math correct? Okay. You got to check my mental math. It's not always good. Okay. On your assignment, you should notice that the problems lead you through exactly what you need. So it asks you what slope are you going to use, and then it asks you to write it out in point slope form. That was our step number 2. And then the final blank is slope intercept form. So after you've distributed the slope and getting y by itself. You get to number 3, it asks what's the original slope, what's the perpendicular slope, then write it in point slope form, then write it in slope intercept form. Number 4, it asks for the original slope, the parallel slope, the point slope form, and then the slope intercept form. Number 5 is kind of a challenge problem. It says, hint, draw the line, plot the point, and then draw a parallel line. Give number 5 a try, but I think you've heard me say this before. Don't stress out about it. Give it a try, but it's not something that you should totally stress out about. It's potentially a bonus question on a test, maybe in the future, possibly, maybe.